So I hear your name is Stephen Lipe. Can you tell me where we're at currently?
We're at the Georgetown Cemetery.
Okay. Generally, do we use this for training purposes because it's a good location for us close by?
We use a lot of training purposes, like either the Empire Cemetery, Georgetown Cemetery, sometimes houses if our friends allow it.
Okay.
Get a lot of training done so we can get faster and better.
Kind of understand how to conduct a EVP session or other different session, right?
Right.
How to set up equipment, how to work with equipment. So
how to use the EVP and everything.
So you basically use the audio recorder, right, to capture EVPs?
Yes.
Okay. I know it's difficult being behind the camera to say everything that you mean to iterate, sentence by sentence, but I want to ask you a question. How long have you been kind of interested in doing this?
About 3 years.
Is there any particular reason? Is it because your friends are on the team, or?
I just wanted to try it out just to see what it was like, so I asked my friends if I can go with them on investigation, and ever since then I seem to enjoy it.
Okay. Is there anything particular that you get scared of?
I did get scared once just because I saw something. I wasn't sure if it was paranormal or if it was lights where we investigated before.
Okay. So that was your one moment that out of all the investigations, maybe you said, what's going on here? I got you. Sometimes investigations can be challenging because as I've shown in the other videos, and I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn this light off so now I can't even see anything around me except for the laser grid and some of the other stuff once I come back to you. So we are going to refocus this light so I can refocus the camera and get it focused back on you. So we're out in the dark, so it can be a little scary sometimes hanging out in the dark, isn't it?
Yes, it can be.
Okay.
There's times that you can hear noises that you can't exactly explain, and you also got to be cautious for animals because
sure.
Rocky Mountains, so got to be cautious.
Animals got to be a number one concern, no matter where you're located. Could be a snake if you're out in Florida, or a gator or something like that. And here we could be worried about cats or bears, right? Yeah, maybe a wolf, something significant like a coyote or something to come as a team and come tease us a little bit, right? We have a pretty laser grid set up here on a very pretty corner of the cemetery, and we have some equipment down there. Do you happen to know? I'm going to turn this light on a little bit so you can actually see it. Can you potentially tell me some of the equipment, maybe point it out? Do you know what that is?
This would be the K2. It tells us if something's here, it'll
So
go
basically
off.
It reads the EMF from the environment?
Right.
And then it indicates when we think there's a spirit presence? Okay.
It'll come up and walk to it, and if we ask it a certain question like, are you here with us? And if it lights up, they're here. And sometimes we get a hit, sometimes we don't.
That piece next to it is a new one, so you may not realize what it is, but it's a static detector. Kind of lights up in pretty colors if something kind of goes by it, but it's kind of neat. And then right next to it, you've probably seen the recorders before, right? We have a nice recorder sitting next to that one, and then those pretty laser grids back to back, so that we can kind of set up a nice chain so that maybe we can entice the spirit to come over and visit our other equipment. Seems that laser grid seems to really entice the spirits to come over and say, "Hey." It is pretty, isn't it?
It is pretty.
Yeah, it's kind of a Christmassy green color, but it
2 hits.
Okay, so evidently something else is also understanding what we're saying and thinking about Christmas and saying that they enjoy it too, because we've got some K2 hits, which is potential for activity. At the same time, we're talking about these pretty lights, and then we have the millimeter in the middle that kind of tells us a little bit of the ambient temperature and also tells us EMF. And if earlier our EMF was only a 0.4, and if I focus on it, we're going to see that it's been going from a 0.6 to a 0.7, so it's elevated a little bit. So that could also indicate a possible presence of a spirit with us, right?
Correct, and it is actually actually feels like there's somebody standing next to me.
Oh, okay. Well, it is a little chilly tonight, but that's an interesting point. But you don't feel anything scary out here, do you?
Mm-mm.
I mean, because we're out here, obviously, way out in the dark. Only light you're seeing is maybe the screen off of my face or something like that in the laser grid. But you're not afraid, right?
No, I like feeling the presence of spirits to let them know that I'm not afraid, and if they're not afraid, they like to touch us. They like to let us know that they're here.
So that way we can kind of talk to a client and say that it's not. Whoa, a bug almost got me. I didn't expect the bug come get me in the eyeball. Sorry about that, Mr. Camera. So that way we can help a client to say, oh, the spirit that seems to be here is not something that's evil. It's just something that seems to interact, and it's not scary. We just try to calm the mind of a client that comes to ask for our services, right?
Yes.
We're not here to, necessarily, go on full discussion with what's going on necessarily until we get sensitive or somebody like that can talk. But we do conduct EVP sessions to ask them their name and some other interesting information if they so do want to share it with us, right?
Yes, when we did Buffalo Bill's grave.
So you've got a good sample of an EVP that you captured?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Tell us about it.
When we went to Buffalo Bill's grave, that was my first investigation. And
I'm going to turn this other light out so it stops blinding you, okay? Just a second. I apologize. All right. There you go. Buffalo Bill.
So we were at Buffalo Bill's grave, and we caught a lot of activity there. We saw a cowboy in a picture smoking and just stand there just like a normal cowboy.
But you were talking about EVPs, so that's electronic voice phenomena. Did you catch something on audio?
Yes, when I did Buffalo Bill's grave, I went to his grave, and I asked, Bill, are you here? And clear out in the day, it said, yes, I am here. Clear as day. Wow,
that's an incredible EVP.
I was very proud of myself when I caught that, but
right.
Unfortunately we lost it on the computer, which sucks.
Right. Well, unfortunately, the data that we collect has to be backed up, and at the time we didn't have backup sources, but we do now, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So we've talked about a little bit of the stuff that you've seen here as equipment-wise, some of the pretty lights in the laser grid. Talked a little bit about the EVPs and things you've captured. Is there any particular reason why you should be on this team on TV?
I just thought I'd give it a shot and see what it's like being professional and go to more...
Well, we already are professionals. We provide professional services, right?
Correct.
To a client. But it just kind of gives us a wider base to which we can connect, which is on TV, right?
Right.
Okay.
And there's also some very cool investigation spots that I'd love to go to, which would be the first one I'd love to investigate would be Alcatraz.
Oh, wow. I bet you that would be very interesting.
I've always wanted to go there since Ghost Hunters did.
Obviously, we don't know what the focus of this potential show would be, but that obviously is an interesting thought to a future location. Thank you very much for your time.